Welcome back to my channel, guys. I am so excited because today we have a brand new Nintendo DIY, and it is all about Animal Crossing and the fishing tournament here today, April 11th, this wonderful Saturday. Let me tell you, I've learned a lot about this tournament, and I want to make sure that you guys get all the items and, of course, the fish wand, which is one of my favorite wands because it's so cute just to even carry around. And I want to repeat myself, I want to make sure that you guys get all the items. And let me tell you, if you have not prepped for this game, it is going to be a very, very long day. Going to show you the best circumstance and the worst circumstance, the chances of you getting all the items and more. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, comment down below if fishing is one of your favorite aspects of Animal Crossing. We're going to start off with the worst circumstance, which is you did not prep, which is totally fine and understandable because I thought I prepped, but apparently it wasn't enough. By prepping, I mean you actually made a lot of extra fish bait, you've also made a lot of fishing rods, and you are just ready to go. If you did not do any of that and you don't have terraforming yet, this is the best option. The best option is that your town hall is located near some sort of body of water. I would also go to Tom Nook and purchase as many flimsy rods as possible, or even make as many flimsy rods as possible. Luckily, the fishing tournament does not start until 9, so if you wake up early enough, you can do all of this beforehand, which is making that bait and making enough flimsy rods, or again, purchasing a lot of flimsy rods. They are really cheap and easy to make. Their durability is actually 10 times, so you can throw it 10 times before it breaks, and I have yet to actually have one break during a fishing tournament. And what I mean by that is every segment, every time I enter the fishing tournament, it actually has yet to break. It usually breaks right at the end because, again, it's 10 durability, and that is actually how many throws you're going to try to attempt to get these fish. So if I tried fishing basically without even prepping and just me trying to get fish, my average was either 5 or 6. 7 was like the best outcome, but I want to say my average was 5 or 6, and it really wasn't that much. So in total, I think the amount of points that I would get in one fishing segment would be around 6 or 7 points. I'm not entirely sure, but it again was just not enough to get any of the items. So that means I would have to enter the tournament twice in order to get any of the items. And again, in order to get an item, you need 10 points in total. And there are about 13 items in total in the entire tournament that you can possibly get. And of course, I'll be showcasing every single item that you can get during this tournament, including, again, my favorite item, which is the fish wand. So worst case scenario, you're going to be entering this tournament about 50 to 60 times if you did not prep. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's say that you did not unlock terraforming yet. However, you did prep, so you have enough of the fishing rods and you made a lot of bait. Now, keep in mind, when I say you made a lot, I mean you made a lot. I believe I made only 150. That's enough to get all 13 items. However, it's not enough to get the gold trophy. And the gold trophy in total is 300 points. So this fishing tournament is all about catching the most fish in 3 minutes. Doesn't matter what type of fish, it just has to be a fish. And I am just going to apologize ahead of time if you happen to get an egg during your tournament. It is the worst thing ever. So that's why you want to control this as much as possible. So if you didn't prep, you are just running around on the beach, which is honestly the best place to go fishing. Then it's the river and then the pond, because the pond is ridiculous. I tried catching a fish in the pond and it kept on moving. So yeah, I wouldn't even try any like still body of water. So the best outcome for me without terraforming was basically, again, prepping. So getting a lot of bait and then a lot of flimsy fishing rods and running to the pier right when the tournament started. Now, I could have just went straight to the ocean because actually my town hall is really close to the ocean. However, I wanted to make the most out of my bait, so I ran to my pier, and my pier isn't that far. It actually is pretty good, and I did get a really good average. And not only did I get a really good average, but I actually got tuna and marlin, which was awesome because not only was I able to hit at least 7 to 9 fish in one go, I was also averaging about 22,000 to 30,000 bells. Maybe I could have hit 10 fish if I just started directly at the ocean, but I also used the pier because it was so well controlled. Every time I used the bait, I knew exactly what angle to throw the fishing rod. After my first or second attempt at the tournament, I already knew where the fish would pop up, so the pier was like amazing. It took a little bit, like I said, the first and second fishing tournament definitely didn't turn out as good as the next 30, but it was really, really good. I did not go to the edge of the pier because again, I'll be wasting time having to travel all the way to the end of the pier. And plus, I remember trying to get a fish at the end of the pier and it moved so much. But when I went to the side of the pier, it was just perfect. Again, I would average between 7 to 9 fish. Now, when I throw 9 out there, 9 was so rare. I think I only hit it once this way, but I would actually hit maybe on average 7 to 8. So again, keep in mind, 9 was super rare. It was only on certain circumstances, especially when I was on my A game. Of course, we're human, we all make mistakes, so it was very rare for me to get the angle right every single time. Now, let me show you guys the most efficient way to get all the items, including the golden trophy. This is best scenario, which is having a lot of bait, the flimsy fishing rods, and you can also terraform. It was so funny because at one point during this tournament, I was thinking there must be an easier way. How crazy would it be if I could just bring the body of water to CJ? Because it would be awesome if I can do that. And I just remembered that I can actually move mountains. So if you have actually unlocked terraforming, I highly recommend that you bring the body of water to CJ. Now, I did try to do the smallest pond in the entire game, and the reason why I did that is because I did not want the fish to move a lot. And the sucky thing is that your lure does not move once it's placed in the water, especially in ponds. But the fish is the most agile in a pond. It's so crazy. So you're basically trying to limit its movements. I did try to do only 4 squares, but I was unable to actually scatter the bait. I don't know if you guys have a better way, but I did 6 squares. And if I could change the position of where the pond was, I really wouldn't put it near CJ because you might actually trigger a conversation. So if you can move it maybe 1 square over, it would be the perfect way to get the most points out of this fishing tournament. Okay, so this is the best setup and the best outcome that I can get out of this entire tournament. Okay, so after setting up the pond near CJ, you want to also make sure you have your rod in hand and you've pre-scattered the bait into the pond. I really did try my best to get 10 fish in one session, and I feel like I could, but I was so tired. I am actually editing this video at 7 o'clock in the morning because I really want to help everyone try to get all the really cool items in this tournament. So I introduce you guys to my best session so far in this fishing tournament. I definitely plan on streaming Animal Crossing New Horizons. So since I have you here right now, please do not forget to like this video. Comment down below if you love fishing, if it's your favorite aspect in Animal Crossing New Horizons. And more importantly, don't forget to subscribe so you guys can catch all the latest streams and Nintendo DIYs. It was so funny because sometimes I really do well under pressure, and then there are other times where I just crash. I feel like if I didn't mess up, especially at the end, I could have gotten 10, but the fact that I can average at least 8 or 9 every time I join a fishing tournament My biggest regret is not using this method from the very beginning and not halfway through. Wouldn't have entered this tournament as many times as I did. And I also used a lot of my bait early on, so I wish I thought of this earlier. Let me know on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook if you actually hit 10 fish. I know I can do it, but I am just so tired at this point. And honestly, my fingers are like starting to hurt. Okay, so what do you get by doing this crazy tournament and collecting all of these points? Let me tell you, my biggest aim was to try to get the wand. That was something that I had my eye on for the longest time. So once you reach a total of 10 points, you're allowed to redeem those points for items. Keep in mind the items are completely random, but thankfully you won't get the same item twice. So you have the fish rug, the marine pop wall, the fish print, the fish door plate, the anchor statue, fishing rod stand, fish drying rack, fresh cooler, fish print tee, fish umbrella, fish pochette, tackle bag, and finally, of course, the fish wand, which is my favorite. I had many other favorites, and a lot of them actually go outside too, which is awesome, like the cooler, even the anchor, that's really nice. It could be placed near the ocean, as well as the fishing rod stand. That is really cool for people who love fishing in this game. Can finally add the fish wand to the wand collection that is outside of my museum, including all the different various flowers, the gold rose, and of course, lilies of the valley. I can finally display this beautiful wand right next to all the rest. I hope you guys have found this video really informative, and I hope it helps you today with the fishing tournament. It can be really daunting, especially trying to hit those 300 points, but if you hit at least 150, I can assure you that you'll have all the items. Thank you so much for your support. Please don't forget to like and comment down below. More importantly, subscribe so one day you can visit my island. I really appreciate everything that you guys have done, and if you subscribed already, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!